Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk to you about four forces that decide whether you live a strong life or a weak one. Your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind. Master these and you win. Lose hold of them, and you're just surviving. Your mouth is the front door of your personality. It's the radio station of your ideas, feelings, beliefs, and thinking. What you say and what you don't say tells the world who you really are. And in this world, your words can either be your strongest weapon or your biggest weakness. Many people ignore the power of their mouth. They think talking is just speaking, but it's not. Its reputation, its influence, its leadership. When you speak, you're not just making sound. You are either making meaning or creating problems. You're either building bridges or burning them down. Some people ruin their own chances in life, not because they're not smart or talented, but because they never learned how to manage their words. They talk without thinking. They interrupt others. They try to control every talk. They turn every view into a fight. They gossip, complain, or show off, and then they wonder why nobody listens to them when it really counts. Truth is, people remember what you say, especially when it's hurtful, careless, or unwise. Think about it. One bad sentence can go viral. One bad joke can cost you your job. One rude word can end a friendship. One angry moment can destroy 10 years of trust. The real skill in life is not just knowing what to say, it's knowing when to say nothing. Silence is not being weak, it's being smart. When you're angry, silence keeps you safe. When you're unsure, silence gives you time. When you're hurting, silence helps you heal before you speak from pain. People think talking all the time makes them powerful. No, speaking with meaning makes you powerful. Anyone can talk, very few can communicate. Strong leaders, good partners, wise thinkers. What do they share in common? They listen more than they speak. They ask thoughtful questions. They pause before replying. They don't speak just to fill the silence. They use their words like a doctor uses a tool, not to cut everything, but to cut only what's needed. What you say also becomes the way people learn about who you are. If you always talk about what you hate, people will think you're negative. If you always judge others, they'll believe you're insecure. If you gossip, they'll believe you gossip about them too. If your mouth is full of noise, people will stop paying attention, even when you're finally saying something that matters. But there's another level to this. The words you say to yourself matter just as much. The inner talk, the things you say when nobody is listening. That sets the tone for your confidence, your emotions, your focus. If your mouth keeps feeding your brain self doubt, anger, or excuses, you're training your mind to expect failure, and one day you'll act like someone who's already lost. So how do you manage your mouth? First, pause before you speak. Don't let your feelings drive your mouth like a car with no brakes. Check with yourself. Is this kind? Is it useful? Is it needed? Second, listen deeply. Don't just wait for your turn to reply. Let people finish. Help them feel understood. You'd be shocked how much respect you get when you give people room to speak. Third, pick words that lift, not words that hurt. Praise in front of others. Give correction in private, and even then only when it helps. Compliment more than you complain. Support more than you criticize. Fourth, protect your trust. Don't talk just to get attention. Don't lie to be accepted. Don't stretch the truth for praise, because once people stop believing your words, they stop seeing your value. Lastly, remember this: the smartest person in the room isn't always the one who talks the most. It's often the one who speaks last or not at all. But when they do, everybody listens. Let me know if you want me to expand on the next part. Mood, money, or mind. Your mood is not just a feeling, it's a force. It can build you or break you, lift your day or ruin your relationships. And yet most people treat their mood like weather, changing without control and always someone else's fault. That's the first mistake, thinking your mood is something that happens to you instead of something you are in charge of. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you deal with it, and how you deal with it shows your maturity, your habits, and your future. Most fail. Yours don't happen because of lack of skill or chance. They happen from emotional choices made in hot moments. People say the wrong thing, quit the right path, or walk away too soon, not because it was smart, but because their emotions made them act fast. And unwise feelings are real. They're part of being human, but letting emotions run your actions is risky. Anger can make you hostile. Sadness can make you disappear. Envy can block your focus. Pride can blind you, and fear can freeze you. The people who succeed over time are not the ones who feel less. They're the ones who have trained themselves to keep going through them. Emotion, not on the emotion. A person who stays calm when others panic isn't empty. They're emotionally skilled. They've built a habit of checking themselves before reacting. They don't give control of their life to temporary feelings. They know moods shift, but decisions stay. Your mood also affects everyone around you. You might think it's your personal problem, but moods are shared. One bad attitude can spoil a whole group. One emotional outburst can shake up the room. One boss in a bad mood can turn a great day into a storm. And the scary part is most people don't even see it. They think it's being honest, but it's not. It's being out of control, dressed up as being real. There's a right time for being honest, but being real doesn't mean being messy. It means being aware. It means knowing the line between expressing and dumping. Venting is not the same as blaming. Sharing is not the same as pushing your chaos onto others. Mood control begins with knowing yourself. You must learn to stop and ask, what am I feeling right now? Why? And is this the best time to act on it? If you can answer that truthfully before you react, you'll live with clear emotions instead of confused ones. Another powerful move is reframing. When something bothers you, don't just sit in it. Flip it. Is this a threat or a challenge? Is this failure or a teaching? Is this about me? Or is it just the situation? The more you shift your thinking, the more power you take back from your feelings, and don't wait for emotions to crash down. Prepare for them, train for them. Just like athletes train their body under pressure, you must train your mind to think straight when you're under stress. That means practicing stillness, writing, breathing, and sometimes just staying quiet. Yes, silence, because sometimes the best way to control your mood is to give it space without adding more noise. Surround yourself with people who are emotionally balanced. Mood is energy, and energy spreads. If your circle is full of people who panic, explode, sulk, or blame, you'll start doing the same. But if you stay around those who stay calm, you'll pick up their emotional balance. Finally, remember, people will forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And how you made them feel depends on how you handled your own feelings in that moment. Money is not just cash, it's a mirror. It shows your habit, your choices, your thinking, and your future goals. People often say money isn't everything, and that's true, but here's the part they miss. Money affects everything: your decisions, your lives, all your peace, your connections, all are touched by how you use your money. The mistake many people make is thinking that the answer to their money issues is having more money. But if you can't manage a little, you won't manage a lot. If you're careless with 100, you'll be careless with 10,000. The issue is usually not income, it's behavior. Wealth isn't only about what you make, it's about what you keep and what you do with it. This is why many people who win the lottery still go broke. Their money changed, but their mind said didn't. They kept spending like they always did, with emotions, without thinking, without planning. Money without self-control is not a gift, it's a trap. Being in charge of your money starts with one word: awareness. If you don't know where your money is going each month, you're already losing it. Budgeting isn't boring, it's self-respect. Backtracking your spending isn't punishment, it's a plan. Many avoid checking their expenses because they don't want to see their own lack of control, but ignoring the problem only makes it worse. Look closely at your spending. Are you spending because of habit or purpose? Are you trying to show off or grow? Are you buying things that go up in value or wasting money on things that drop in value the second you touch them? Spending without thinking is one of the most dangerous habits today. One click, one swipe, one reward your self moment, and your budget is gone. Companies study your behavior so well they know exactly how to get you to spend without thinking. If you don't have a plan for your money, someone else will learn to wait to get what you want. That's where power begins. Just because you want something doesn't mean you need it right now. If you can wait one day before buying something, you'll stop most wasteful purchases. If you can wait 1 year to upgrade your lifestyle, you'll give your savings time to grow instead of hurting your future just for looks. You also need to know the difference between assets and liabilities. If something takes money out of your pocket, it's a liability no matter how fancy it looks. If something puts money into your pocket, it's an asset, even if it looks boring. Wealthy people buy assets, broke people buy liabilities and call it living good. Create a system, automate your savings, choose a set amount every time you earn. Don't save what's left after spending, spend what's left after saving. Protect your emergency money like it's your lifeline, because one surprise problem can erase years of progress. If you're not prepared, avoid debt traps. Not all debt is bad, but most of it is high interest loans, credit card debt, buy now, pay later tricks. These are financial traps. The longer you stay, the deeper you sink. If you can't buy it in cash, ask yourself if you really need it, and never feel ashamed of starting small. Financial discipline is not about how much money you earn. It's about how wisely you use what you already have. There's strength in saying not now to things you can't afford yet. There's real power in learning how to manage and grow your money before running after more of it. Make money work for you, not the other way around. Give every dollar a roll. Let your money do something useful for you even while you sleep. Think of each dollar like a soldier working for your goals. Every bit of money should be moving you forward, not pulling you backward. Your mind is the control center of everything in your life. Every move you make, every word you speak, every decision you take starts first with a thought. If your mind is scattered and messy, your actions will be the same. If your thoughts are weak, your results will reflect that. No one can grow past the strength of their own thinking. The problem is that most people never learn how to control their minds. They let their thoughts run wild like an untrained animal. They allow every fear, every doubt, every worry to take control. They believe every thought that pops into their heads, even when those thoughts go against what they want. Then they feel stuck, lost, and tired, and they don't understand why. Your mind is strong, but it can be trained. It takes in whatever you feed it. If you keep feeding it negative talk, drama, scary news, harmful opinions, and self-blame, don't be surprised when you feel anxious, unmotivated, and unsure. Your thoughts don't just stay in your head. They shape your emotions, actions, and even your body. They shape the world around you. The first step to taking control of your mind is knowing that you are not your thoughts. You are the one who notices them. Just because your mind says you're not good enough doesn't mean it's true. Just because a thought tells you you'll fail doesn't mean you will. But if you let those kinds of thoughts stay too long, they will turn into a story. That story will become how you see yourself. You have to learn how to stop negative thoughts before they grow stronger. When your mind starts imagining the worst, take a breath and ask yourself, is this really true or is it just fear? Most of the time, it's just fear pretending to be logic. It looks like being careful, but it's really worry. And if you let fear stay in your mind without checking it, it will build walls and call them safety. You also have to protect what you allow into your mind. Treat it like something valuable. What you read, what you listen to, who you talk to, it all matters. If your day is filled with mindless scrolling, arguments, and noise, your mind will turn into a mess. But if you fill it with learning, peace, silence, and helpful thoughts, your mind starts to help you instead of hurting you. Being able to focus is another part of mental control. In a world full of endless noise and distraction, focus has become rare. Most people can't sit for even 5 minutes without picking up their phone. They say they don't have enough time, but what they're really missing is focus. If you can't control where your attention goes, you'll struggle to shape your future. Because focus shows you where you're headed, and where you're headed shapes your life. Learning to guide your thoughts also means learning to manage that never-ending voice in your head. The voice that criticizes you, overthinks, and brings up past mistakes. You don't have to erase that voice, but you need to make your true voice louder, the voice of purpose, the voice that speaks truth, the voice that reminds you who you are when things get noisy. Being mentally strong doesn't mean being fake, positive all the time. It means being steady. It means looking at the truth without falling apart. It means being able to say, this is tough, and also say, I can handle it. Weak minds give up under stress. Strong minds bend but don't break. They've been trained by difficulty, not protected from it. You also need time to think. In a loud world, silence is powerful. That's where your best thoughts come. That's where real solutions appear. If your mind is always reacting, it can't create. And if it can't create, it just copies others. That's how people lose who they are, by thinking with someone else's mind, living by someone else's truth, and chasing someone else's dream. Your mind isn't just a place to store thoughts, it's a guide. It can move you forward or hold you back, depending on how you use it. A messy mind makes it hard to see clearly. A calm mind helps you understand your purpose. A scared mind makes you freeze, but a clear mind helps you take action. Self-control doesn't mean being hard on yourself. It means choosing what really matters. It's choosing your values over your feelings. It's the space between having an emotion and reacting to it. What you do in that space shapes who you become. Without self-control, your emotions will run your life. Every distraction, every mood, every craving will push you around. People talk about self-respect like it's something you're born with, but that's not true. You build self-respect by your choices, step by step, and the first step is self-control. Because if you can't guide yourself, how can you trust yourself? And if you can't trust yourself, how can you respect yourself? These things go together. Every time you say you'll do something and don't do it, a little piece of self-respect breaks. Every time you choose something easy and quick instead of something meaningful and long, lasting, you tell yourself, my goals don't matter. Over time, that becomes your belief. Self-control is saying no, not because you were told to, but because you chose to. And you actually followed through. That builds real power. That builds something deep. knowing you could have taken the easy path, but you chose the right one, not for applause, not because someone was watching, but because your purpose mattered more. Look at someone who respects themselves. You'll notice they walk with calm strength. They don't need attention, they think clearly, they keep their standards high. That confidence doesn't come from showing off, it comes from doing the hard work when no one's watching, it comes from making promises and keeping them, it's in the workouts done alone, the good decisions made quietly, the bad habits avoided when no one would find out. That's where real self-respect is formed. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent, choosing who you want to be again and again until your actions match your identity. But it's not easy. The world is full of tests. Advertisements want your attention, fast food wants your health, social media wants your time, comfort wants your drive, and if you don't guide your life, someone else will. Then one day you'll wake up and wonder why you feel so far from the person you hope to become. Self-control is real freedom. It's the ability to choose how you respond, not just react. It's where your strength begins. When you stop giving in to every mood, excuse, or craving, you'll see just how much power you really have. That builds something more valuable than pride. It builds deep self-respect. The person who can stay calm when angry, who sticks to their schedule when they'd rather scroll, who takes responsibility instead of blaming others, that person moves through life differently, not louder, not flashier, just more focused, more calm, more sure of who they are. They're not shaken by what life throws at them. It's not about being stiff, it's about being purposeful. You can still enjoy life. You can relax, but you do it because you choose to not to avoid responsibility. That's the difference between quick relief and lasting change. One fades fast, the other changes everything. The more you practice self-control, the more you start to like the person you see in the mirror. Not because they're flawless, but because they are in charge, they are leading their life. When you control your words, you protect your relationships and your name. When you guide your emotions, you protect your peace and choices. When you control your money, you protect your future. And when you take charge of your mind, you protect it all. Real mastery begins within. You don't need more followers, more luck, or more noise. You need more control of yourself. Discipline isn't punishment, it's direction. Every part of your life becomes better when you stop reacting and start choosing from a place of calm. The world will always try to distract you with anger, with fear, with temptation. But your job is to stay grounded. Real power is not about controlling others. It's about guiding yourself. People respect discipline. People trust calm control. Control your voice. Control your emotions. Control your money, control your thoughts. That's how you build a life that can't be shaken. That's how you grow real success, not for fame or applause, but to walk through life calm, clear, and rooted in who you are. Because if you don't lead yourself first, nothing else you lead will stay strong. Control is not about force, it's about knowing where you're going and staying true to that path. The more you choose discipline, the less you need motivation. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. Some days you'll feel it, other days you won't. But discipline is steady. It doesn't wait for the right mood. It moves even when you don't feel like it. That's the difference between those who wish and those who achieve. The ones who keep showing up are the ones who grow, even when it's hard, even when no one claps for them. You don't need to feel inspired to take action. You need to train yourself to take action, and the inspiration often follows. The truth is, your feelings don't always tell the truth. Sometimes they protect you from growth because growth feels uncomfortable. But just because something feels hard doesn't mean you're not meant for it. In fact, what feels hard is often the very thing that's shaping you into who you're supposed to become. Discipline teaches you to stop needing a mood to move. It teaches you to stop waiting for the perfect conditions. It gives you permission to act even when your emotions say otherwise. Your life will change when you stop asking yourself how you feel and start asking yourself what you're committed to. Feelings change. Commitments last. Growth lives in uncomfortable places. It lives in early mornings, in quiet effort, in the times when you say no to the easy path and yes to the higher one. That's where your strength is built, not in comfort, but in choice. Every time you make a decision that honors your future self, you grow, and growth isn't always loud. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's the simple choice to stay focused, to keep your word, to not give up. Success doesn't belong to the most gifted. It belongs to the most disciplined. Talent is only part of the equation. Without discipline, talent fades. Without focus, ability gets wasted. You don't rise because of what you're capable of. You rise because of what you're willing to do consistently, even when no one notices. You can't control everything around you, but you can control your choices, and your choices stack up. Every decision you make is a brick in the foundation of your life. Weak decisions make weak walls. Strong decisions make strong ground to stand on, and the more solid your foundation, the more you can build, the higher you can go. Discipline protects your dreams from being destroyed by temporary feelings. It guards your goals from the traps of procrastination and distraction. It gives you a backbone when the world tries to bend you. Without it, you will live on repeat the same year, the same patterns, the same regrets, over and over again. But when you choose discipline, you move forward, maybe slowly, maybe without applause, but you move, you learn, you grow, and eventually you change. You look back and realize that the person you are today was built from every disciplined step you took yesterday. That's power, that's ownership, that's freedom. You don't need to control every outcome. You just need to take the next right step with discipline. The results will follow. Stay steady, keep going. The path gets clearer as you walk it. The weight gets lighter as you carry it. The doubts get quieter as you prove to yourself that you are stronger than they ever said you were. Discipline isn't just about doing hard things. It's about becoming a person you're proud of. A person who doesn't quit. A person who doesn't break every time things get hard. A person who holds their word not just to others but to themselves. That kind of self. Trust is rare and powerful. It's easy to want change. It's hard to become the kind of person who sticks with the process. But that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Anyone can start. Few finish. Few stay consistent long enough to see what they're truly capable of. But the ones who do, they build something unshakable, not because the journey was perfect, but because they stayed, even when it was boring, even when it was frustrating, even when progress felt invisible. They stayed. That's what makes the difference. Not talent, not luck, not timing, but the choice to keep showing up. You are always becoming something. With every choice, every action, you are shaping the person you're going to wake up as next year. The question is, are you becoming someone stronger or someone smaller? Are you growing or are you shrinking to fit the comfort of the moment? Every "I'll do it later" adds up. Every "just this once" adds up. So does every "I got this." Every "not today" to distractions, every time you rise when you don't feel like it. All of it adds up and it shows, maybe not today, maybe not next week, but eventually it does. Your habits either build you or break you. They either shape your future or steal it. So be careful what you repeat. Be careful what you allow. Be careful what you excuse, because all of it becomes who you are. And when you finally reach the future you've been dreaming about, the only question will be, were you becoming the person that future required? The life you want isn't waiting for the perfect version of you. It's waiting for the disciplined version of you, the one who doesn't need to feel ready, the one who doesn't wait to be motivated, the one who simply decides and shows up. That version of you already exists. It's not far away. It's in your next decision. It's in your next action. It's in what you do when no one's looking. That's where you find your power, not in big moments, but in the quiet, steady ones. The truth is, your life won't change all at once. It will change piece by piece, brick by brick, thought by thought, choice by choice. You will become disciplined in one area, then another. You'll fail sometimes, yes. But you'll get back up, because you're not doing this for a perfect record. You're doing this for a life that reflects your values, your purpose, your strength. Keep your promises to yourself. That's where self-worth is built. Not in how others treat you, not in how loud your life looks, but in the quiet, steady choice to follow through on what you said you'd do. That's self-leadership. That's real strength. You are not stuck. You are not powerless. You are not waiting for permission. You have everything you need inside you: focus, discipline, clarity. Now choose it. Step by step, word by word, action by action. And when you look back 6 months from now, 1 year from now, you won't just see progress. You'll see transformation, not because you had more talent, but because you had more control over yourself, because you finally decided to lead yourself. There will be days when it feels like nothing is working. You'll show up, do the right thing, make the right choice, and still feel stuck. That's normal. Growth is often silent. Progress doesn't always feel exciting. Sometimes it feels like you're standing still while the rest of the world moves. But don't be fooled by the lack of noise. Your quiet effort is building something unshakable. Most people quit not because they're weak, but because they mistake stillness for failure. They think if they don't see fast results, it must not be working. But real change takes time. It happens underground, like roots growing before the tree appears. You don't always see it, but it's happening, and if you keep showing up, the breakthrough will come, not by chance, but because you didn't quit. Discipline is choosing faith in the process over comfort in the moment. It's believing that consistency will pay off even when there's no proof yet. The greatest victories are often earned in silence, when no one's cheering, when no one sees, when all you have is your why and your will to keep going. That's where transformation begins, not in a burst of motivation, but in quiet trust. Trust that every effort matters. Trust that every time you choose your purpose over your feelings, you're shaping a stronger version of you, not for applause, not for approval, but because you've decided you're worth it. Your future is worth it. Your peace is worth it. You don't need to prove anything to anyone else, but you do need to prove something to yourself, that you can keep your word, that you can show up even when it's hard, that you can lead yourself even when the path is lonely. That kind of power doesn't come from outside. It comes from within. It comes from every moment you choose alignment over excuses. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about choosing again and again. It's about getting off track and returning. It's about making mistakes and correcting them. It's about falling and standing back up with more wisdom. The most disciplined people aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who never stay down. There's nothing weak about starting over. What matters is that you keep starting. What matters is that you don't let failure become final. Every day is a new vote for the person you're becoming. So choose well, choose with intention, choose with vision, because every small choice has power. Your environment matters, your habits matter, your thoughts matter, your circle matters. If you surround yourself with noise, you'll drown out your purpose. If you fill your day with distractions, you'll delay your progress. But if you protect your space, choose your habits, and guard your thoughts, you'll create a life that reflects your highest self. You're not meant to stay stuck in old patterns. You're not meant to live on autopilot. You're not meant to wake up dreading the day. You're meant to live with clarity, with peace, with purpose. But it takes work, not flashy work, daily work, quiet work. Invisible work, the kind that rewires your brain, reshapes your habits, and rebuilds your self-belief. The people who change their lives don't have more time. They don't have better luck. They just make different choices. They show up when it's easier not to. They say no when yes feels tempting. They hold their standards even when no one else would notice if they let them slip. And over time, those small, unseen choices create visible transformation. People might call it discipline, people might call it strength, but at its core, it's self-respect, it's alignment, it's the decision to live on purpose, not by accident. It's not about how fast you go. It's about how true you stay to the path. Life will test you. Circumstances will challenge you. People will doubt you. Your own mind will try to talk you out of your greatness. But you don't have to believe every thought. You don't have to accept every limitation. You can choose different. You can build different. When you feel like quitting, remember why you started. Remember the vision. Remember the version of you who was tired of settling, tired of being stuck, tired of feeling like life was passing by. That version of you asked for more. That version of you dared to dream. Honor that version by continuing forward. Discipline is love in action. It's saying, I love my future too much to destroy it for comfort. It's saying, I love my peace too much to trade it for noise. It's saying, I love who I'm becoming too much to go back to who I was. That's not harsh, that's power, that's alignment, that's truth. You won't always feel strong, but strength isn't a feeling, it's a choice. It's a choice to rise again, to refocus, to recommit. That's what discipline teaches you, that even when everything feels out of control, you are not. You are still in charge of your response. You are still in charge of your choices. And your choices are what shape your life, so keep going, not perfectly, not quickly, just faithfully. Keep making the small decisions that lead to big change. Keep choosing the version of you that doesn't give up. Keep choosing what matters over what's easy, and one day you'll look in the mirror and realize you became everything you once hoped for. You'll see someone who is clear, focused, strong. You'll see someone who didn't let life shape them, but shaped life through action. You'll see someone you respect, someone you trust, someone who led themselves through every season, not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. That's what discipline gives you, not just results, but identity. You no longer wonder who you are. You know, you've proven it to yourself in silence, in struggle, in repetition. That's a power no one can take from you. That's a confidence that doesn't shout, it walks in peace.